I hope that you are ready for this week's video because we are about to be doing more crocheting than I probably have ever done in a single week in my entire life. I can already tell it's going to be one of those weeks because I just want to crochet everything under the sun and I'm going to take you along with me. But before we get started, welcome back. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Annie. I'm a crochet pattern designer. I love crocheting plushies and pretty much everything else, honestly. I share all sorts of crochet content here on my channel, from vlogs, tips, tutorials, all sorts of stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely subscribe. With all of that being said, let's get into the video and see how much I can crochet this week. Okay, so today is March 15th. I'm pretty sure it's a Friday, but I have been doing just an absurd amount of crocheting this week, and I really want to show you everything I've been making because I have just been having so much fun with amigurumi. I tend to go through phases of what I like knitting, crocheting, I don't know. But I've been doing a lot, so let me just walk you through everything I've been doing. So recently I've really gotten back into making little sea turtles, and this is the pattern from All From Jade. I really love this pattern, but something about just making all these sea turtles, and I think making those fruit snails recently gave me the idea to make some fruit sea turtles. So of course we have the strawberry, and isn't she just so cute with her little stem? This one might be my favorite. I also made this blueberry one, and I think he is so cute. I used Sweet Snuggles Light for this, and I feel like Sweet Snuggles really does split a lot and it sheds a lot and it's really annoying, but whenever I end up with my finished project, I'm always so happy with it. It just has a really nice look to it and it holds up just as well as Parfait Chunky. To me, it's worth the struggle because I just think he's so cute, and this is like the perfect blueberry color. I also did this one, which this might be my favorite too. This is a little clementine one, and I just love this little leaf, so cute. So that's 3 so far for this week, okay? I have a couple more. This is the pink lemonade one that I made. My husband Ryan said this one's his favorite and it made him want to go drink pink lemonade, and honestly same. Like, even just thinking about it right now, I'm like, I could use a lemonade right now. But I love this and I think that the pink is perfect. This is actually Parfait Chunky in the shade Pink Lemonade. So when I saw that name, I was just like, this is perfect, we're making this. And then I do have one more turtle to share with you. This is the most recent one that I made, and this is a tomato sea turtle. And I don't know where I got this idea. I just love tomatoes. There's something about tomatoes that I think is just cute. I don't know. So I made this one, and yeah, I think his little stem thing, like, this could be a little bit better. I think it's still pretty cute, but I love it. And this is kind of fun, but I actually decided to list them in my Etsy shop because lately I've just had the bug to sell some of my finished products. I just really want to do cute packaging and make things super cute and sweet. I've listed those in my Etsy shop if you're curious to check them out. I just really have the sea turtle bug right now. So in other news, I've also been crocheting a bunch of pigeons lately because, as you know by now, my pattern Paul the Pigeon is in the works. I'm in the process of designing it and getting everything ready, and by the time you're watching this video, it's either in testing or it's published. I'm not sure which one, but I'll let you know. And so I recently have gotten onto the velvet yarn trend, which previously I've not really loved velvet yarn, but for the pigeon specifically, I just feel like it was necessary. Like, that kind of like shiny look, I feel like just reminds me of a bird's feathers. So I'm currently in the process of making a Paul the Pigeon with velvet yarn. It's definitely harder to find the colors that you need in velvet yarn compared to a chenille yarn, but I still do have to make his little feet. He comes out so small in velvet yarn, but I just love it. I used a 3.5mm crochet hook to make this Paul, but I figured we can work on his feet together and maybe we can just get that finished up right now. So I'm getting his foot started right now. But this is my stitch marker that I'm using. It's literally just a piece of yarn from a sock that I'm working on. And I am curious if I'm the only one that has this problem, but I swear, no matter how many stitch markers I buy, I always lose them. Like, I don't know if it's my cat that's stealing them or they just fall in the cushions of my couch, but I can never ever find them. Like, I've probably bought about like 50 of them and I don't have any. All I have is this little piece of yarn that I'm using. So that's a hack, I guess. If you didn't know, you can just use a piece of yarn, because I just feel like with amigurumi, you need to have some sort of stitch marker. This is the other thing I do. I don't know if I've showed this, but I use this pencil pouch for all of my like go-to notions, like my most used crochet hooks, my scissors, my tapestry needles, and it has this really handy little loop on it. And normally what I do is I put my stitch marker on here to keep track of it, but I think what happens is I might be leaving my stitch markers inside of my plushies when I close them up. I guarantee you at least a couple couple of my plushies have a stitch marker inside of them. I don't know where else they're going. I feel like making this foot went by so fast because I was talking to you. This only took me like 4 minutes, I think. I don't know if that's fast or not. It's so small and cute. I just love velvet yarn, so beware, you might be seeing me work with it a lot more lately. So we've got both of our feet. Look at how tiny they are. Oh my gosh. So now I just need to sew them onto his body. I'm so excited. I'm obsessed with pigeons lately. I don't know, they're just a whole vibe, you know? I'm curious what you think of this, but I know that no sew or low sew patterns have been the rage for a long time, and I totally get why, like especially if you're somebody who is market prepping, like it's a really good way to keep your costs down and stuff like that. So like I totally understand why for that reason, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, I have felt a lot of pressure to design patterns that are no sew or low sew just because it seems like a lot of people really prefer that. But lately I've just been having a lot of fun making patterns that do require sewing. I think that sewing really isn't all that bad, and I know a lot of people don't like it, so it's totally valid if you personally don't like it. But for me, like I really don't hate it that much. Like I kind of like it, especially with a yarn like this where it's not like falling off everywhere. I'm curious to know like what you think, or what are your thoughts about sewing? Like, do you feel like it's kind of a deal breaker for you if a pattern has a ton of sewing in it, or do you kind of like that? Because I mean, obviously if you're making a pattern that has more sewing, like it's going to be more detailed and it's going to be a little bit more unique. I feel like there's only so much you can do without sewing in a crochet pattern. So lately I am just in my sewing era. I think it's really fun, and I think it's a really good way to make your project a little bit different. I feel like this also makes a difference too, but if you're working on a crochet pattern and it gives you specific instructions on where to sew each piece, I personally really like that, and I include that in my patterns as well because I feel like that just takes a huge part of that headache of sewing away. Because if you don't know exactly where you're sewing, you're just probably like hating the entire process because you're like, what is going on? Which is very valid. All right, and just like that, the feet are done on Paul the pigeon, except this one is so small, it's giving me more of like Paulina vibes or something. I feel like that's her name. I feel like she's a little lady and her name is Paulina, but I think she's so cute. And this blue color definitely is a pigeon vibe to me, and he's got the little stripes on his wings, but it's definitely harder to see with velvet. Overall, I still love him, and I think he's a great addition to my little flock. So I almost forgot to show you the progress I've made on my sock from the last video. If you saw that video, you might remember I am knitting a sock for my husband. This is with Arcane Fiberworks sock weight yarn, and this is called Down to Earth. I think it's so pretty. It's almost giving me like a camouflage vibe, but in a much prettier way. So I have done the leg of the sock, and then this is the heel right here. So now all I have to do is bring the sock out this way. And then we're gonna be done, and I'm gonna move on to the second sock, and I'm so excited to give these to my husband Ryan because I know he loves cozy socks. I also just feel like sock knitting is becoming like a labor of love for me. Like it just makes me so happy, and I just want to give everybody socks because it's like my way of telling them that I love them. I think it's so cute and fun. But also, can we take a moment to look at how beautiful this weather is? Like it is a glorious day here in Southern California. I am just so grateful for this weather. If you don't know, I used to live in the Midwest for like 3 years, and it was so cold this time of year. Like it would still be snowing sometimes, and now that I'm back in California and this is what it looks like in March, I'm just feeling very grateful. And I think that the only right thing for me to do now is to go be outside in this weather. Maybe I'll edit my video out there and just get some sunshine in. That sounds so nice and so good for me, so I think I'm gonna do that. I am checking back in because I have so many fun things to share with you right now. I'm so excited. So first of all, I've been crocheting so much in the past 24 hours, so I'm going to show you what I made. So the first thing I made was this really cute little strawberry with the popping top like this. I just love this pattern. This is from Cable and Canvas, and I actually tested the smaller version of this pattern for her, the mini size, and this is the junior size. and I just think it's really cute. I didn't add any of the little seeds onto this one, but I honestly like it without. I think it's really cute, and I just used Parfait Chunky in key lime and coral, and look at the little face. I'm obsessed with this. And I actually made another one of that exact same thing. I'm currently restocking my Etsy shop a little bit, and I'm putting these in there, so I'm really excited to see if they get adopted. We'll just have to see. And then I also made this for my husband Ryan. This is an emotional support pickle, and I think I might have made the little bobble stitches a little bit too big because I don't know, he's just not feeling very pickly to me. Let me know what you think, but I feel like I could have like doubled the length or just gone for like a smaller bobble stitch here or something, but he's cute regardless. I feel like this color is perfect for a pickle, you know, just like a relaxed green. Within the past few days, I've had a little bit more time on my hands, so I've finally been able to just go through all the patterns that I've been wanting to crochet. I've been buying them on Etsy and all of that, and it's been so fun. There's this other one that I've been seeing on Etsy a lot, and it's this little ice cream cone pop-it thing, but it just looks really fun to make, and I'm curious how it works up, so I think I might try that too soon in this video. But in other news, I actually got some new crochet hooks that I want to show you. So Furls is this company that makes resin crochet hooks, if you're not familiar with them, and they're a little bit pricey, but every once in a while they do this thing where they release their mystery crochet hooks, and technically they're defective in one way or another. Like it might be the stamp on them is slightly off, or the color isn't completely mixed through or something, but in my experience they always look really great, and there's never anything like actually wrong with them. But you can get them for a pretty good price. I want to say these were like $10 or $15 or somewhere in there, but I like buying these mystery ones because they're super fun to open. Like if you like Sunny Angels or anything like that, you'll probably love this. It's basically the crochet hook equivalent. I always open them with Ryan because we love to guess what color it is and see what they are, but I figured I would open them with you today. I got these both in the 4.5mm size, and I do notice that with furls I need to size down a little bit if I'm using a furls hook in a pattern. If the pattern calls for a 5mm hook, I usually will go for the 4.5mm, so I guess technically half a size. I don't know what it is about the hook, it just slightly reads larger when I'm working with it. Okay, our first one. This is so pretty. See, look how cool this is. Like personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's so pretty, and yeah, you save a bunch of money getting the mystery ones. Like look at how cool that is. I think that technically the defect in this one is that the white is not like completely mixed into it, but honestly I think I actually prefer it that way. I think it's so pretty, and it reminds me of the ocean, and it actually kind of matches my nails a little bit, which is fun. So I love that one. I'm really excited to use this to make some plushies. Okay, now let's see this one. I keep opening them at the wrong end. Here we go. I love this. Look at how pretty. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this one is from their Galaxy collection. I think it might be. Personally, I don't even see the defect. Again, here we go. You can see it now, but see that stamp looks great. I think maybe it's just the swirling of the colors for whatever reason didn't meet their standards, but it meets my standards. I think it's beautiful. I love the pinks and purples. I think these might be my two favorite mystery hooks that I've gotten. I wonder if I have some more of the mystery ones I can show you. So this is one of the past mystery hooks I've gotten, and personally, I don't see anything wrong with this one either. This one is just more of like a brown with a cream mixed into it. It almost looks a little bit like wood in a way. I think they're super fun, and if you're looking to try furls out but you're a little intimidated by that price tag, which I don't blame you, like they're very, very expensive, this is a great way to try them out. So usually I just get the mystery hooks. I do have a few other ones that are not from their mystery ones. This is like the Jupiter one, and I love the sparkles. It's supposed to look like Jupiter the planet, I think. Hopefully I'm not wrong. And then I don't know the name of this one, but it's like a shimmery red. Also, if my skin looks blotchy, I just went for a run, and I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but whenever I run, I get these little splotches all over my skin. So I promise nothing is wrong with me. It's just that, and it always goes away, but that's what that is. I almost completely forgot to mention this, but I also just placed a massive order of yarn from Premier Yarns, and I actually ordered some Parfait XL for the first time. I've never tried that yarn, but I I thought it would be really fun to make a jumbo pigeon for my pattern release for my pigeon, but I think it's gonna be really cute to make a giant one. So I'll keep you updated on when I get around to doing that. I think it just depends on when the yarn comes. We're just gonna have to see. So I decided I'm going to make this ice cream fidget pop and see how it turns out. I'm planning on using these 3 colors, and this is Big Twist Posh. I forget the names, but we have the lime and the pink and this like tan color. So let's get started. All right, so I just finished our ice cream cone and I think it's super, super cute. I love these colors. It's giving me summer vibes, which I just love. But I mentioned I use Big Twist Posh for this and it pops really nicely like this. But I think the problem is that it doesn't like pop down very well, and that's probably because of my yarn choice or my hook size. So that's kind of just something to note when you're doing a pop pattern. You kind of want to just be careful with what hook size you're using depending on the yarn type. Usually I find that Parfait Chunky works best for pop patterns, but this is super cute regardless. I think next time I might need to size up my hook a little bit. I think the reason why it's not popping as well might just be because the yarn is a little bit more thick, but either way, I think it's so cute. I feel like I need to put a little cherry on it or something. I want to try it with Parfait Chunky next. It would also be super fun to add some sprinkles and things like that to this. I have so many ideas. So I'm currently working on a pattern test for Allison from Wonder Crochet. If you haven't checked her out, you definitely should. She makes really fun videos here on YouTube and I love watching them. But she actually redesigned her Connie the Cow pattern so that the color changes are included into the body, and I am working on the test so far and she is turning out so cute. I'm using this pastel baby blue color of Parfait Chunky and this deeper blue, which is actually Sweet Snuggles Light. I've never mixed the two before, but it's actually turning out better than I thought it would. So I'm really excited about this. It's so cute. I just have to add the feet and finish the head and it's gonna be just adorable. I love this pattern. I'm also pretty surprised. I thought this was gonna take me quite a bit of time with the color changes and the size of this plushie, but it's working up fairly quickly. So I highly recommend this pattern. I think that it will be released around the time that I'm posting this video, so I will make sure to have the link in the description. I'll keep that updated for you so that you can check it out if you're interested. So I have another really exciting thing that I want to share with you today. If you're not familiar, I have an Etsy shop with all of my own crochet patterns, plushies, and I also sell stitch markers on there. And initially I started just making these stitch markers for fun, but they ended up selling out, and I kind of see why, because they're these really cute little cats. This is what they look like. So there's a gray one, white, there's the orange hidden back here. We have the calico and the pink, and I just think these are so cute. Personally, I love using cute stitch markers and I think these are so adorable and people really love them in my Etsy shop. So I decided to restock them. So if you're curious to check these out on Etsy, I will definitely have a link in the description. Like, look how cute these are. If you haven't tried it before, I highly recommend making your own stitch markers. You can have so much fun with all the different beads and charms and things like that, and you can find almost everything off of Amazon. It's honestly just so much fun. And if you remember, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I said I never have enough stitch markers. I'm always losing them. These ones are nice because I don't lose them because I like them way too much. So I feel like it's a good strategy. I might be onto something with this, but highly recommend. So I finished my Connie the Cow last night and I cannot even begin to tell you how much I love this pattern. I told Allison this, but I think this is seriously one of my new all-time favorite crochet patterns. It's so cute. It was so easy to follow and I'm just so excited for this pattern release so that you can try it as well, because look at this. It also comes with a Highland cow variation, but I love this cow. I think it's so cute, and I also think it'd be really fun to play around with the colors and make a pink variation or purple. I ended up going with blue, and honestly, I'm gonna keep this for myself because I love it that much. I think his name is Clarence. I think that's what I've decided. He just gives me Clarence vibes. I don't know, just so cute. And he's the perfect size to give a hug to. I just love him so much. But here he is, so I'll give him a moment in all his glory. I love the color changes. They turned out so perfectly. And if you remember, I mentioned that I used Sweet Snuggles Light for the spots, and then the body is in Parfait Chunky. At first glance, it doesn't look like a huge difference, but when you start working with with it, it is a big difference. So with all of that being said, I think it still turned out really, really well. I don't really think you notice the difference in sizes very much, but when I was working with it, it felt much thicker. Now that he's all finished though, I think he's perfect. I absolutely love these colors together. I'm gonna have this pattern linked in the description of this video as soon as it's released, but I'm just so grateful to Allison for letting me test this cutie. I had so much fun doing this. It's been like the highlight of my week. I also really love this little hair design in the pattern. I've never done this in an amigurumi pattern before, but I had so much fun doing it and it was actually very simple to do, so we love that. I think he's just gonna have to sit on the shelf in the background of my videos from now on because he is like my pride and joy. I think this is an all-time favorite creation of mine. But as soon as I finished up my cow, I saw on Instagram and on TikTok this really cute cat loaf pattern. I believe it was Annabelle from Crochet Grove that shared this pattern, but I think it's so cute and it was like the perfect little cat. And of course I had to make it because, as you know, I have my own little cat, and initially my plan was to make it match the colors of my cat Remy, but then I realized I do not have any white. I am waiting on my order from Premier, so I improvised and I actually made a really cute pink one, and I actually love the pink. It's so cute. I used Sweet Snuggles Light in the light pink and then this hot pink color, and I just absolutely love this pattern. I feel like this is really gonna blow up. It's just the perfect cat. I feel like this would be so great to make for markets because it's really quick, it's a really great size, and it's adorable. You can do so many different colors too. Like I've seen the designer do a speckled version. You can do it without spots. You can customize it to somebody's cat if you want. And it's also just a little loaf. Oh my goodness. Also, it's a cat, so of course everybody's gonna love it, right? I'm so excited to make more of these. You're definitely gonna have to stay tuned for that because I think in a video coming up, I just wanna make a bunch of these. I seriously love this pattern so much. I'm so excited to make more. I'm having so much fun with these that I might start listing them on Etsy or taking custom cat orders to match everyone's cats. I think it would be so fun. I'm seriously obsessed. And I think I forgot to mention, but every pattern or anything I've used in this video will be linked in the description because, you know, I'm not gonna leave you hanging like that, okay? So don't forget to look at the description if you see anything in this video that interests you. It's all down there always, okay? And that wraps up our week of crocheting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely let me know in the comments what your favorite thing was that I made this week and what you are working on. And if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing so you don't miss any future content from me. Let's do a quick recap on everything we made together this week because it was a lot and I'm honestly curious how many pieces it actually was. So for starters, we have our pink lemonade turtle, tomato turtle, strawberry turtle, clementine turtle, blueberry turtle, 2 strawberries, Paulina the pigeon, an emotional support pickle. I'm running out of room. Connie the cow. I feel like we're forgetting somebody. I think it's the little loaf cat that I made. Oh, and I also think we're forgetting my ice cream cone, but we're gonna pretend like I'm holding that because I gave it to my cat. I'm gonna count how many things this is now. Okay, so I think all said and done, we crocheted 12 things together this week, which is pretty good because some of them were pretty large. Hopefully I counted right. Let me know in the comments if I didn't because I never claimed to be good at math. I really think this might have been a new record for me, and I'm guessing that's the case because I can really feel it in my wrist after all of this week. It's been crazy, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me this week. If you're curious, you can look at some of these plushies on my Etsy shop, which is at Hooks and Healers. And I also just made a TikTok, so if you'd like to follow me over on there, it's at Hooks and Healers. I'm going to warn you, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out as I go, so bear with me. And if you haven't already, you should definitely go follow me over on Instagram at Hooks and Healers. Thank you so much again. I am wishing you an amazing week, and I will see you next Monday. Bye!